Howdy guys, Jimmy Song here. In this video, I'm going to talk about something that's more economics related, and that is the CPI numbers that are released by the government. CPI stands for Consumer Price Index, and it is a way for the government to measure inflation. That is how much more things cost every year, and they usually release it. And every time they release it, it makes it seem like inflation's at like 1-2%, not very high, relatively speaking, especially compared to the 70s, or even earlier, where inflation was often at like 7, 8, 9%. Now, what is going on with the CPI? Like how is it possible that it's so low, even though you look at like even like burrito prices from 10 years ago, and you realize, you know what, like things have gone up a lot more than the CPI says. And that's what I want to talk about, because the CPI number is what the government uses to sort of, tell you what the dollar equivalent is. The central bankers that are out there, sort of tout this number as something that's authoritative or whatever. It's actually not. It's actually not, and it's a heavily manipulated metric. There's something called the quality adjustment of the CPI. That's one of the more blatant things that they use in order to make prices seem lower, to not have increased as much as they have. So what that supposedly does is it adjusts for new quality. So if a pair of jeans, increased in price by $10, but the quality of it went up 9%, or say the price went up 10% and the quality went up 9%, or they can say that the quality went up 9% and only count 1% towards the inflation. And that's essentially what they've been doing, right? Like for a while now. And this is why inflation statistics are not really well, they don't jive with sort of everyday experience. If you look at like the price of, food or clothing or almost anything, and this is one of the ways in which the government manipulates you, and they do that so that you don't realize how much money is being taken away, just straight through inflation. And it's not only from us, of course. It's from pretty much every country that uses the U.S. dollar as a reserve currency. They're sort of losing money as a result, even if they have treasuries in their central bank, or if you're sort of like an outcast country, you just have like cold hard dollars, printed dollars. They're losing a significant amount, just from the inflation, and the real inflation number is actually more easily measured by monetary supply. And if you look at the monetary supply, that increases like 6, 7, 8% a year. And that's really kind of a hard number to calculate, because what do you count? M0, M1 money, M2 money, M3 money. And those all differ, but they more or less trade as money. Like if you get a loan on your credit card, where you get like a 40-day float, that's treated exactly like money. But that debt was created out of thin air, right? Like you don't have collateral against it, and the bank is just sort of that money didn't exist before. They don't take money from their vault and lend it to you. They just put, okay, this person now owes us this much money because they fractionally reserve lend. So, it's a heavily like manipulated metric. Inflation is the CPI. What's ironic about it, though, is that banks will give you an interest rate that's even below the CPI, which is like basically they're they make it so that you're constantly losing money. Anyway, it's just something that I wanted to get off my chest. Hope that helps you. This song is done.